Shutter Island has one of the most famous plot twists of all time, right alongside The Sixth Sense and The Usual Suspects. But what if the real twist, hidden in the details, is that this massive twist we all love was all a big lie? If you don't know, the ending of Shutter Island reveals Leonardo DiCaprio's character Teddy was not an investigator, but was actually a patient of the mental hospital all along, unwittingly participating in an elaborate role play. However, some audiences have long theorized that Teddy was, in fact, totally sane from the start. There are lots of clues that this might be the case, but I'm only going to talk about the one that made me take this theory seriously. When I first saw people arguing that the whole plot of the film was a conspiracy to drive Teddy insane, I didn't treat it as much more than wild speculation from audiences disappointed by the reveal. That is, until they pointed out the storm. See, in the climactic lighthouse scene, Dr. Cawley casually lists a number of the biggest recurring elements of Teddy's supposed delusions. Most of them are easy enough to dismiss as fictions and hallucinations when you look back, but among them, Dr. Cawley mentions the storm. So briefly I missed it on first watch. This is the storm that has been disrupting everything on the island since the start of the story. The storm that the hospital staff urgently talk about making preparations for before it hits, even when Teddy isn't around to overhear. The storm that Teddy and Chuck get caught in, forcing them to take shelter and then get rescued, soaking their clothes so they have to change into patient uniforms. The storm that has everyone busy cleaning up the grounds afterwards, allowing Teddy the chance to get around the island unhindered. The storm that allows multiple inmates they then interact with to have gotten free. I'm sorry, unless you conveniently say that all of that was somehow imagined, which doesn't make sense considering that Teddy's only other complete hallucinations take place when no one else is around, then you can't convince me that the storm wasn't real. But if the storm was real, when Dr. Cawley said it wasn't, then that means that this was all a giant trick that we all fell for. It means that Martin Scorsese did to us exactly what Dr. Cawley did to Teddy. He gaslit us into doubting our own sanity and questioning our reality, and convinced us to trust him over our own senses and logic, rewriting our reality for us, all while the clues were there for us to deduce the truth if we were just willing to look for them. He didn't use any cheap narrative shortcuts to pull this off like in other films I've complained about, just layers of simple misdirection. And that might just make this the greatest cinematic magic trick I've ever seen.